Hello everybody, welcome back to Home. This is part 2. I'm William with Stardust Drive. We're playing through Home. And we're in the woods now. Part 1 was a little long, but I mean, I'm thanking you guys for sticking around if you did watch it. I don't know where we are now, but we're leaving the woods. We've got a notebook, we've got a plank, got a gun, a handgun, a knife, and it seems like there's somebody in the woods or in the area that has been murdering women. One of them being this character's girlfriend and or wife, and he's trying to figure out why and where the other people are. So let's continue reading. As I stepped through the gate, I suddenly recognized the auto parts factory where I had worked as a machinist for all those years. The plant had closed almost 3 years ago now. Times were better then. I thought I could hear a faint rustling behind me. Maybe it was just the wind. Or was it? Don't say that. What is it? Who is it? Oh. Door? Hole. Door, hole, hole. Oh, his body. Oh, shit. Not another victim. I took it from his uniform that he was a security guard there, just doing his job. His head had been severely beaten, and his face was covered with blood. Dug into the ground was a cracked old watch. It was mine. I bought it on a trip out west with Rachel. I barely went a day without wearing it. Why was I missing my watch? I wonder. It didn't look like it worked anymore, and it was heavy. Did I take back my watch? It's my fucking watch. Of course I'm going to take it back. Even though I had no longer ran, I clasped the watch around my wrist. It's my fucking watch, bitch. My watch. My watch. Don't touch it. So let's go this way. What the fuck? Oh boy. One of the lockers hung open. Its contents were tossed around, like someone had been looking for something. The door was locked shut, and there was a little electronic box under the handle. A sign was pasted at the front door. That said, danger, closed for repairs. There was a large power box with 5 lights on it. Cables burst out of the box, snaking off to other parts of the factory. The metal was starting to wear, and cobwebs had collected on the corners. The box wasn't receiving power, which means I gotta give it power. Oh yeah, then I can go through that door. The door was locked tight. It seemed to be connected to the power box inside it. Or maybe this is the door I have to go through. Whatever. Let's go upstairs. Sorry guys. Just rolling through this. Up the stairs. Every part of this plant smelled old and rotted. I noticed the old bulletin board on the wall. Our old break table. The layer of dust and grime made seeing this sting more. Should I go up the stairs or should I... Oh! The board contained yellow clippings of newspaper cartoons and notices. There were other notes to and from the guys that worked there. One of them was to Norman, who was one of the older guys on the line. Let's go up the stairs some more. The door had been hastily boarded up. Good to know. Let's go through this door. The character's walking pretty slow now. This was Norman's locker. The door was dented, like someone had punched it. I don't remember him doing that when he worked here, when we worked there. Maybe Norman's been killing some guys. A power panel looked like it was shut off. Did I push the switch? Guess I pushed the switch. A utility shelf crammed with mismatched tools and items. There was a claw hammer on the shelf. Did I take the hammer? Do I have room to take the hammer? As I took the hammer, I noticed it wasn't as dusty as the rest of the tools on the shelf. Like it had been used before. I wonder what that means. The locker was a complete mess. Hidden at the bottom, though, was a magnetic card. Did I take it? I slipped the key card into my pocket. Another panel. Yes. So that's 2. Still not working, eh? Let's try this one. There we go. So that's 3. Awesome. That's 3 panels. The door's still boarded up, eh? Let's go down the stairs. Don't know if I need to go in here or not. Another panel. 4. Oh. That woman's photo. I knew I had to get it back to Rachel. Get back to Rachel to find out what happened. Okay, so I used the key card on the door. Something's making that noise. Holy moly, God. So I hurt myself. Good job, William. That poor guard, was the flashlight I carried his? It looked like he had met his end violently. I only hoped it was quick. I had to get home to Rachel, but I couldn't stop thinking about Norman. He and Rachel were friends. Could he help? It wasn't like I had anyone else to turn to. My leg burned with pain. I hoped I could find my way through the dark path before me and get to Norman's store. Oh boy. I don't like... What's rustling out there? Stop it. I don't like this. So I didn't get to go through the door with the power grid thing. Sounded like it was going to start raining again. Oh, fucking great. I had entered Norman's place. This was the back of the store he ran. It was oddly quiet except for the faint sound of a television. Would the VHS player work here? The entrance to the front of the store was locked on the inside. Looked like I couldn't just pop it open. I needed a key. There was a bit of blood on the keyhole. Let's put the Oh no, Norman! No, Norman, no! His face and shirt were covered in blood. It looked like he'd been shot trying to get up. His eyes were still wide with shock. Norman, you deserve better than this. Did I close his eyes? Yes. Give him the decency and just close his eyes. Also, I don't like the idea of eyes being opened. I guess this was Norman's kitchen table. He kept it clean enough, but there were water rings from 2 cups still there in the wood. This is fresh. The kitchen trash bin smelled fresh. I couldn't dig through the mess. I found a hairpin amongst the rotting food and trash. What the fuck is a hairpin gonna do? Who the fuck knows, friends? Well, time to walk past the dead body of Norman again. Gotta love Norman. He's such a sport. You're my friend, Norman. I always loved you. I barely knew you, but I always loved you. Let's go this way. Too bad. You look like you've been watching some decent programming. Despite the shock of already finding Norman in this state, seeing this turned my stomach just as much. It was one of Rachel's old coats. Did she have sex with Norman? What was it doing there? Was she okay? I don't like this. Inside the cabinet was a small but impressive collection of hunting rifles, shotguns, and even a few items that I didn't think were legal here. One of the slots in the rack was empty. The gun I found seemed to match the other ones there. If the handgun was Norman's, what the hell was he doing with it? The gun would fit there. Did I place it back in the cabinet? Yes. I carefully pushed the piece back in place and felt a great burden lifted. Did I? Did I really? I don't know. I didn't really think I did feel a burden lifted, friends. Let's go back down the stairs. I used the hairpin to pick the lock. The hairpin snapped in half, so I threw it away. Oh, okay, so I did open the door. The general store was small, but it was clean. It had the usual things: postcards, snacks, magazines, and canned goods. I never went there much. Rachel usually stopped by after work if she needed anything. The register had money. I took it. A fat stack of travel magazines sat beside it. Fuck yeah, travel mags. The icebox seemed to be unplugged. Must have been off for a while. Most of its contents were half melted. Fuck yeah. There were various postcards from the area, especially from the tourist traps. One of the postcards showed an old black and white photo of the water tower. It looked to be in much better shape then. Oh shit, Norman was dead, but I had no idea why. Maybe I killed him because he slept with my wife. Was he involved in all this somehow, or was he just another victim? Or maybe, I have a theory here, okay? So, I killed Norman because he's sleeping with Rachel. And then I was like, you know what, fuck women. I'm going to kill all the women I know. But, I don't know. That seems kind of stupid. The gun I seen only found to complicate matters. It was such a relief to finally be rid of it. Home wasn't far off now. Even though the rain was relentless, I had to keep going. Oh fuck, I'm outside. Let's go over here. Let's go to door number 2. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. What? Which one's my house? Is this my house? It was locked. This wasn't the right gate. Which one's my fucking house? Wait, is one of these doors my house? Maybe it's this one. Is this my house? I think this is my house. The gate was locked tight. This wasn't my house. The neighborhood local post box. A letter was sticking out as if someone hadn't pushed it all the way in. I knew it wasn't right, but did I take a look at the letter? There was no return address, but the envelope was addressed to Norman. Carefully, I tore it open and looked at the letter inside. It read, "Stay away, she's mine." That was it. No signature. No other information. I bet you I wrote that letter, sent it to Norman, but didn't put a return address. I had the wrong gate. This one was locked. Maybe it's this gate. I had entered our backyard. The rain gave me a terrible sense of foreboding, and it chilled me through my clothes. I was expectant, but also afraid. Boom, ba-da-doom, boom, 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 boom. Blood! I held my breath as I approached our back door. I was terrified to step inside. The house was painfully quiet. The only sound was my own breathing, ragged and strained. I flicked the light switch by the door. The power was off. Of course it was. Very nice kitchen. I remembered having breakfast here on this very table. Was that yesterday or sometime before? I love the walls. Those are some fucking sexy walls, man. Let's go in here. The door to the basement. It was locked. Where'd I put the damn key? The front door was locked from inside. I couldn't go out, though. I needed to see if Rachel was here. Maybe she did upstairs. Did. Rachel! Rachel! Our television. I had purchased it before I knew I was going to lose my job. I felt pretty guilty about it afterward, but by then it was too late. Well, I guess I can't watch TiVo anymore. Gotta check every room on the floor. Can't miss a single room. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole underneath the handle. Let's go upstairs now, I guess. What am I, in the attic or something? Rachel! Rachel! The books there were half mine, half Rachel's. Hey, now that I look more closely, it looked like the man in that house had some of the same books I did. There was a suitcase on the bed. It was Rachel's. I remembered it from that trip we took out west. Did I open the suitcase? Yes. I wasn't sure what to make of the suitcase's contents. Inside were a few days' worth of clothes, some toiletries, and a train ticket? Where was she planning to go? This wasn't getting me anywhere. So Rachel had packed up her bag, was getting ready to leave. Oh, broken glass. Our hallway mirror had been smashed, its pieces scattered around the floor. Wonder why. Oh, there's blood on the floor. What the fuck? Our sink, which needed to be replaced. One of the taps always stuck, but I hadn't got around to fixing it yet. We were lucky enough to get a house with one of those wonderful old claw-footed bathtubs. So I can only look up. I don't know what that means. Sorry guys, I'm still figuring this out. There's blood on the floor. Okay. My laptop had been left on, and only a tiny bit of power left. On the screen was a website about the old wastewater tower. There was a key in the top drawer of my desk. Should I take it? I pocketed the key. Yeah, but what's the key to? It's probably the basement. So nothing's been happening the last little bit. The door was stuck shut. There was an old-fashioned keyhole under the handle. So yeah, it's definitely to the basement. I unlocked the basement door. I am not. Why would I go? What's in the basement? There was old Christmas decorations in the box. The garbage bags were stuffed with old paint cans and supplies. There was a dirty old key here. Did I take the key? That's for the second floor. Of course I did. I already know what it unlocks. I have good memory. So I think what I need to find is on the second floor, in that room. I thought I had... Yep, okay. Well, I thought I had the... It looked like the room had been tossed around. The furniture was a mess. Did somebody break in here? Oop. There was an old crowbar on the floor. Did I need to take the crowbar? That would help me get through the fucking thing. By the looks of it, the crowbar had broken a few things. Somebody was smashing the fucking house right now. Buddy, that is my house. You cannot be smashing my house. This is my house. Fuck you. Okay, so crowbar. Open the wall. Did I break through the wall with the crowbar? With a heave, I swung the crowbar at the wall. I smashed a hole large enough to step through. That's a big ass hole, bro. As I stepped through the broken wall, my breath caught in my throat. That was it. Was Rachel down there? Was she okay? Don't look. This is a long fucking hall. A filthy looking pile of rags had been dumped in the corner. The stench of them was awful and made my eyes water. I was terrified to even touch the pile to see what lay within, but I knew I had to. I'd come this far. After all this searching, after all I'd seen, when I looked at the rags, did I finally find my Rachel? It's asking me? I don't know the answer. No. The rags were wet, matted, covered in dirt and grime, but inside that tattered mess was no sign of my beloved wife. Rachel wasn't there. Because think about it, there was a suitcase on the thing there. There was no sign of Rachel anyway. I looked around in confusion, trying to figure out what I had to do next. If she wasn't there, where was she? What had I been searching for this entire time? I remembered the look on Rachel's face when I came home, didn't I? Then the awful realization hit me in the gut. I'd been looking at this the wrong way, hadn't I? This is what you've been trying to tell me all along, isn't it? I couldn't find Rachel there, and I won't find her anywhere else because she was never there at all, was she? I stumbled back upstairs, the pain in my leg just a dull ache now, and sat down in my bedroom. My mind was spinning, and the ache I felt before was near crippling. Finally, I could no longer fight the exhaustion as I tried to grab hold of something that would make sense of all this. I must have drifted off. I guess these books were actually mine then. So I'm back in the house? So I'm confused. Like, what would have happened if I said, yes, that was Rachel in the bag? Would that have been Rachel in the bag? Did I think Norman was going back to the factory? Yes. Who else would it have been? Norman, what were you doing back there? The laptop had finally run out of power. So I'm wondering if at this point it's me just backtracking. In the shards of broken mirror I could see my face, gaunt, now hollow. What other illusions had I dreamed up? What other truths were waiting to be exposed? So with everything, am I just going backwards and just figuring out, like... My old office safe sat on the floor. I used to keep tax records and other documents in it. It is a digital passcode lock, but I couldn't have the code. Maybe I left it somewhere. 8 names written along those odd marks in different colors were printed in that notebook. Heather, Olivia, Ashley, Cheryl, Iris, Daphne, Holly, Rose. I recalled the names I saw scratched out on that old desk, deep within those musty tunnels. Was the man in that house really up to something? But Rachel's name isn't there. Because Rachel never existed? Is that what you're trying to tell me, game? Good job. Can I go out the front door yet? I wasn't going to leave. I had to get at least some answers first. Okay. I couldn't go back down. Not until I'd gone over everything. I needed to make sure I was perfectly clear. How many breakfasts had I eaten there completely alone? I must have locked the door. There was no reason to return to the backyard anyway. Okay, so I'm in this house. I'm trapped in this house until I figure out what to do. It was the letter I had taken from the post box. It had gotten a bit wet in the rain. Somebody had obviously had it out for Norman, but who? Oh no, Norman. If I was wrong about Rachel, then what about him? Did I kill him? I'm gonna say yes. I must have, but why? Did we fight, or was I tricked into thinking he was sneaking around with? Well, with Rachel. Damn it, what was happening to me? I still had no idea what was on that tape I found in the garbage. If only I had found a way to watch it. I had that old TV for so long I didn't know if I could ever replace it. Okay, so he's convinced himself that he's killed Norman. Oh. How did he end up dead? When I came to, he was already on the floor. So I couldn't get into the safe. This is weird. There was only one set of toiletries by the sink. When was the last time I showered? It smelled awful. This game is getting really fucking weird, guys. I had made up my mind. What? What? The laptop was dead. There was a yellow sticky note with with an 8-digit code on it. The code looked like it might be for the safe, but what kind of phrase was that? My guy's getting slower too, I just noticed. Is the safe in here? I can't. No, that's the bathroom. Safe's downstairs. In this room, I think. Yes. The code I found should have let me access the safe. Did I try to open it? Yes. There was a poorly framed photo of what looked to be a small headstone in the graveyard. It was tucked away peacefully under the beautiful old maple tree. Underneath it was another sheet of paper. This looked like some kind of MRI printout. It showed me the top view of a brain scan. I noticed the bottom of the scan had 2 white patches on it. Didn't recognize either image. Finally, at the bottom of the pile was a simple white envelope. The front of it read, "Do not open until I tell you." I guess this was a good time as any to see what was inside. Did I open the envelope and read what was inside? Yeah. I tore open an envelope and removed the yellow lined paper on the inside. On it was a letter, written in a hand that looked unfamiliar. The letter read, "I know this whole event has probably been pretty difficult. You can't imagine how hard it's been for me to... Well, maybe you can. That isn't meant to be an excuse, but... Well, I hope you can better understand why I've done what I've done. Moving to this town seemed like such a dream. A quiet place to get established, to live out our lives, and to be together. But you know as well as I do, things quickly changed. Your drinking is one thing, but as you grew more distant, as you retreated into that world of yours, well, it was clear you didn't need me as much. In fact, maybe you never needed me at all, but it took all this to make you realize. In the end, though, you may never forgive me for this. You may never forgive yourself, but this is probably for the best. You'll be healthier for this. I'm just sorry it had to happen this way. Rachel." So Rachel wrote me a letter saying that she was leaving me because of my drinking and stuff. So I was drinking. I was a heavy drinker. Interesting. Okay, so I've convinced myself that I killed Norman. Did the other man bury his wife and murder his wife and bury her in the tunnels? The sick bastard must have. What else did that mean? There were some questionable things in those tunnels. What else was he wrapped up in? So now I'm putting the blame on somebody else. Nothing makes sense. My head was pounding. I'm wondering when I'm going to start to hallucinate things. That'll be nice. Start to hallucinate that, it seemed like I had seen all there was. Maybe I thought I was ready to go back into the basement. What? Maybe there wouldn't be anything for me to find, but I had to take a last look. But if I was guilty, I could take this to a warm, safe place to do something about it. Did I pick up the knife? I took the knife and kept it firmly in my hand. The wall was cracked and pitted. I was told by an inspector the basement had been partially filled in before I bought the house. But by the look of that wall, I was going to need to fix the foundation. See, okay, so nothing happened. I went in the basement. What are you talking about? There's nothing to find. There was nothing in the basement, right? Would it really be over? So, did I leave that house forever? Yeah, to leave. Since I had arrived in town, things had been difficult. Working in the plant, though, had been good for me. It kept me in line, gave me something to do, and helped me get away from my past. When the factory closed, everything changed. I guess that was when I had started sleepwalking, disappearing for hours at a time. Drinking was probably just a way to deal with that. It was almost as if I was trying to beat my own brain at its own game. Things stopped making sense sometime after that, and my memories of what happened are still in flux. Suppose that was when Rachel came along. This night had been the worst of my entire life. Would it even be possible to bounce back from everything that had happened? Everything I'd seen? You know, in a way, I almost wish I hadn't even woken up tonight. It would have spared me a lot of pain. That man I had found in the old house that killed his wife, I was sure of it. I'd killed his wife, sure of it. Just as sure as you killed mine. What had happened in those dank sewers? I was lucky, in my way, to even find my way out of there. But I never did find out what was on that tape that I now kept. Considering all I had learned tonight, I wasn't sure if I wanted to. That forest, though, was no escape either. That notebook especially left me troubled. I remembered seeing a similar list on that desk back in the tunnels. Who were those girls mentioned there? I suspected there was more to those woods than I knew, though I had no intention of going back. Still, I knew that Norman had been going back to the factory, but I wasn't sure why. The guard outside had obviously met a violent end, but do you think it was Norman? At this point, do you think he was even dead? I had to catch my breath to take it all in. At each point until the factory, things had only gotten worse. But then going to Norman's store, that's where the confusion and doubt started to set in. That's when my perspective on all this really started to change. But Norman, it was clearly I who ended your life. Whether you were a miserable bastard who deserved it, or whether you were innocent, that will be for someone else to decide. Maybe you knew the truth that I now only understand. Maybe that's why I came to you. But as painful as all of that was, oh no, I couldn't bear to think about it again. After all I had seen and done, finally coming home was supposed to be the end to this entire ordeal. I had no idea, though, that it was only the beginning. When I first stepped through the kitchen door, the silence had been unnerving. But to think that I went through all that, completely unaware of what I would discover, had I killed Norman, thinking that there was something going on? Everything that I held dear around and true was now spinning around me. I had nothing to ground me, nothing to give me purpose, or even the faintest hope of reason. Without Rachel, without what I thought was Rachel, I was lost forever. As the door swung open, I could smell damp grass and the closeness of the air. After everything, it felt like I had more questions than answers. You made me see the truth. I'll give you that, but now I was completely lost. You took away the only thing that had kept me going. I was sure word would get out, and soon enough, the police would come looking for me. And what then? Would you be there to show me the way? What will I do then? Well, so that was home. And from what I'm guessing, there's multiple endings to this game. Holy moly. Well, that was interesting. Very interesting. Okay, so there was a lot of unanswered questions, and he kind of goes through it in his text. And we kind of started drawing our own conclusions there too. Very interesting game. Very interesting game, and if I have time in a later time, I might come back to it and try it with a fresh perspective. But, thanks guys for watching. If you did stick around, that was home. I might not record any more of this, but, I'll try it on my own time, because I think there's a lot of things that could be discovered from this game. I'll see you guys around.